Welcome back. You're watching Real Talk with Dan Edwards at the Eastside Real Estate Team. Our guests today are Amanda Peterson and Dani Leggett with WFG National Title. So Dani comes with over a decade of escrow experience, and her career with WFG began as the front office coordinator in the Puyallup Branch. Since then, Dani has been very effective stabbing her friends in the back on the way to the top. I'm just joking.
Thanks, Dan.
Working hard as a successful escrow closer slash LPO. Amanda, though, has worked for WFG in the business development manager for the last 7 years. She's a proven track record of success, and she's always there to help agents out, help them improve their business, help them be better for the consumer, and demonstrates that through leadership, and really is one of the top folks in her field. I can't say enough good things. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to put us on gallery view, which means, Doug, you get to be an observer here, and just kind of, if you have a follow-up question, feel free to pop it in. If you want to put on your funny hat, you can do that too. But we're gonna roll with this. So let's talk about how WFG is handling the closing of real estate transactions with the current COVID crisis.
I like that, Doug. I have to say, honestly, I feel like when COVID hit, I feel like WFG is probably in one of the best positions that we could be in. A couple of years ago, our CEO, Pat, had a larger vision for the company, and we actually moved to a virtual platform, which at the time, there was a bit of a learning curve. But now with COVID, with 85% of our employees working from home, the transition's been seamless. We really haven't seen many hiccups with our escrow closers working from home and whatnot. So in that regard, I think that we've handled the situation very, very well.
So when you said virtual platform, I guess I was just thinking like transaction management. What you're saying is your entire interface from your who's working to where you're working is all virtual.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, Dani can elaborate on that a little bit more because she does it. She's in the system all day.
Yeah, so we, when COVID first hit and it was kind of like, what is everyone doing about work? We need to cut down on human contact. We immediately went down to 50% humans in every office, with other protocols in place, obviously COVID friendly. But because we all work on the same system daily, it's just such an intelligent system. We can work remotely, and still be as productive as we were as working in an office. And there was definitely some pressure and some growing pains at first, but once we all got the hang of it, I mean, it's been very, very eye-opening for all of us to realize that we can be as productive at home as we are in the office, and just communicating with clients, communicating with customers, communicating with our teammates. It's been seamless, and it's been very, very successful. And it's been awesome to see our company just have this eye-opening situation due to COVID that we can do this. Like we set a record as a company in May, set another one in June, and we're going to set another one in July. And it's just been incredible. I mean, busiest time we've ever had during an epidemic. So
with all of that being virtual and online, how are you protecting buyers and sellers? Because there's a lot of confidential information flying around.
Yeah, so that's a great question. Our network is secure. And so even if people are logging in from home, their home internet, we have to remote into the secure network that our company provides us, via laptop or a desktop from home. So it's still all based out of our corporate office with the security in place, even with the home internet.
And then how are you signing buyers and sellers? Are they all coming into the office still?
No.
So go ahead, Amanda.
What we're trying to do is minimize the any apprehension that consumers, whether it be buyer or sellers, feel in regards to signings. In regards to sellers, we actually have a great opportunity to offer to most sellers what we refer to as remote online notary, or RON. And essentially what that is, it's what we're doing right now. It's like a Skype version of a notary.
Mm-hmm.
And so with COVID, it's actually worked wonderfully because consumers are a little apprehensive about having a notary come into their home or coming to our office. So that's been an option for most sellers that we've been able to provide to them. On the buyer side, our hands are a bit tied because if they're getting a loan, at this point, there's very few lenders. There's a couple, but very few lenders that will allow for e-signing. So we will have to accommodate, whether it be a notary that comes to their home, obviously following all of the COVID protocol of masks and whatnot, or what we've done, we've actually dedicated some conference spaces in our building that are what we call basically sterile zones. So they get wiped down after every single signing. We also encourage, we try to encourage any of the signing appointments to be essentially just the buyer and the seller. I know a lot of times brokers like to attend signings or whatnot, but because of the situation we're in, we're having them FaceTime or whatnot if they have questions.
Oh, that's awesome. So,
Yeah.
So Dani, for you, okay, here's a major problem in the real estate transaction. I already know the answer to this, but I'm asking.
Okay.
How many has ordered a pizza here? Raise your hand if you've ordered a pizza before. Okay. So one of the things that Domino's did that was pretty ingenious is they created a little app for your phone where you can follow the progress of your pizza. And for real estate, and I know Keller Williams is very close to having this completed. I'm looking under the hood for what we've got, but it's been a main reason why we always use WFG for our closing services is to have that real time where you're at in the transaction. So how does WFG solve that problem, that knowing where the consumer is in real time in the process of their transaction?
Yeah, so we have a dashboard called My Home. It's a consumer dashboard for buyers, sellers, and then also agents and lenders to follow along with their transaction in real time. We actually just upgraded it a bit. It's even more fancy now. We have an online seller information and buyer information aspect that was added to the My Home dashboard, cutting down on paper. Wonderful. So clients can actually log into their My Home dashboard, fill in their questionnaire so that we can process the file, order payoffs, and it can literally be done within minutes when it used to be like print the documents, fill them out, gather the information, scan them back to us. So it's just, My Home's always been a wonderful, wonderful tool that we've offered to our clients and customers. But through COVID, I think it's just added that additional security to buyers and sellers, especially, that they can follow along their transaction. They can watch their pizza be cooked and delivered, and ask questions when something doesn't look right, or if their pepperoni's missing, they can email us and ask a question, but they're really in control of the transaction, and sometimes they keep us on point, honestly.
Is it mobile or just
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 85% of consumers are going to look at it on their mobile device. So that was the first thing that we did. And really, we wanted to do that because, obviously we know title and escrow. The average consumer has no idea. I joke that my husband doesn't even know what I do. So by providing them transparency through their transaction, which is really kind of what consumers are used to, right? Like you said, tracking your pizza, tracking your Amazon package. Why shouldn't they be able to track their largest investment? So yeah, it's worked well.
Okay, so two more questions. The first one is probably for you, Dani. What are the most common questions that buyers and sellers have at signing appointments?
I think the most common question a client will have when setting up a signing is, what are your safety protocols? What are you doing to keep me safe? And what can I do to keep your notary safe? And the answer to that would be, just to follow up on what Amanda said earlier, we definitely want to be able to give the clients the real experience of buying or selling a home, even though we're in the middle of this pandemic. So we've created the safe signing rooms. We have 3 offices that are currently open for signings. And then everything else, we've done everything from signing people. They've stayed in their car. The notary's been outside of the car. We've done drop-off signings where the notary just hands the documents to the client or leaves them on the porch, sits, and then they talk on the phone, answer any questions, go over the documents. If the client's really concerned and doesn't want any contact, which we totally respect and appreciate. But it's just about the safety and what are we doing to make sure that everyone is safe.
I mean, my most common question is like, when do I get my check? I mean, sellers are like, when do we get our check? You know?
Well, yes, there's that too. But yeah.
Okay. And lastly, county seems to be working with a limited crew, and they're not allowing foot traffic. How do you guys record documents right now?
So WFG has been e-recording documents for 3 years now. Sorry, I don't know the exact number, but we are able to e-record in Snohomish, King, and Pierce County, also Thurston County, sorry. And something that WFG has always had, but we've really had to implement it during this time just because of the volume with the county, and they're trying to keep up just like everyone else. And then also just with hiccups happening, it happens a lot. And we have gap coverage that we can offer to clients. If, for example, a refinance doesn't, it funded today, it didn't record, but we're going to make sure that we provide that gap insurance for our client, the lender, and also the borrower to ensure that title policy as of the day that it was funded, even though the county couldn't record it that day.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have for now. Thank you guys both for coming on the show. I appreciate it. Dani, I know you're super busy, so it really is great for you to take some time out of your day.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right.
Thanks.
So after this next break, we're going to be talking to Doug Peterson with Get Priorities Straight about getting your financial priorities straight, hence the term. Come on back after this short break.